Because they all want to be politically correct. Well, here you go. Speaking of political correctness, breaking news this morning. This is from the Washington Times. A U.S. District Court judge handed the Washington Redskins its greatest loss yet in a legal battle over the team's trademarks. Judge Gerald Bruce Lee, I wonder if he kicks people, ruled in favor of 5 Native Americans who argued the trademarks were derogatory. Now, I read that correctly. Not 5 tribes, 5 Native Americans. I'm a Native American. I was born, by the way, in the United States of America. I think what they mean is indigenous people who argued the Redskins' trademarks were derogatory. 5 people had their feelings hurt, or so claimed. Every time I hear the name Redskins, I roll on the floor and I have an epileptic seizure and I cry and then I can't eat for days at a time and it hurts my feelings. So the judge says it consisted of a matter that may disparage a substantial composite of Native Americans. Remember that survey that was done? 92% of the people who were surveyed, indigenous peoples who were surveyed about this name said, nah, I don't care. But yet 5 liberals, who just happen to be from indigenous tribes, wanted to, they wanted to, another scalp for their pelt. Can we say that? Or pelt for their scalp? Whatever. The cancellations of the 6 trademarks won't take effect until the NFL team has exhausted all of its options in federal court appeals, which could take the case to the Supreme Court. Well, that means Sonia Sotomayor, and that means Elena Kagan, and that means what's her name, Ruth Bader Meinhof, and some of those people will be ruling on this. Daniel Snyder better hope that it stretches out because, they're propping Bader Meinhof up every day. And but you know what? If she can make it until the end of the Obama administration, then perhaps a replacement for Mr. Obama not named Hillary or Bernie can actually come along and fill that slot, and we won't have some of these ridiculous decisions made. So yes, your votes do matter on Election Day, if nothing else, because of who sits on that court. Something to keep in mind. And my guess is that we'll still have a Republican-controlled Senate come 2019, after the election, or 2017 after the election, and because of that, you will not have any opposition to a nominee. You remember when Harriet Miers was nominated by President Bush? She was a lawyer, but everyone said, no, you can't put her in there. She's just one of your loyalists, and she doesn't have the experience, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think right now she would have been a darn sight better than John Roberts. In retrospect, of course, we can't go back and, change things, but in retrospect, I think she would have been a much more reliable, traditional American on that court than this guy Roberts, who seems more concerned with pleasing the left. So I guess he can get invited to all the best dinner parties. 9:57. Bill Colley with you this morning on Top Story. I went out a few years ago, and of course, the trademark means anybody can, if they lose this eventually, anybody can slap that Redskins sticker on anything they have, and you can manufacture them and sell them, and you don't have to give the football team a cut of it. And Daniel Snyder's not really much of a nice guy, and not that it hurts my feelings still. He's fighting, I think, a right cause here. They did go out and they trademarked the name Bravehearts, just in case they have to make a change. And that way they don't have to change the logo or anything like that. But I bought myself a bucket for the house. Use around the house a few years ago. I went to Lowe's and bought this bucket. And I bought it with a Redskins logo on it. And I figured it's the official, from a liberal's perspective, the official Washington Redskins urinal. But I did need the bucket, and the fact that it had the logo on it didn't bother me whatsoever. 9:58, Bill Colley with you. God willing, and the creek don't rise, I get to do this all over again tomorrow morning. We're getting through this week very, very quickly. Already past the halfway point, but looking forward to it. Rush Limbaugh following news at 10 o'clock from Fox. After 1 o'clock news, Sean Hannity. And then whoever is filling in for Glenn Beck. Beck, as you know, is resting his vocal cords for the next few weeks. But there will be some very talented people who will be filling in for him during the course of the next few weeks as well. Hope you have a great day.